Video games, they're great. And August means that there's a bunch of new ones coming our way, so I wanted to share some of the ones I'm keeping an eye on, and I think you should keep your eyes on too. So here's 5 games that are coming out in August. First, for August 3rd, we have Baldurs Gate. Now, it's hard to just put my words into Baldur's Gate because it's the game that's supposed to be so amazing that it has other developers panicking that it's going to set a new standard of gaming that no one else will ever live up to, and that's kind of amazing in and of itself. This is a game with over 10,000 endings, intense customization is every D&D player's wet dream come true, and it's exactly what I've always wanted in a D&D-based game or CRPG. For those of you that are interested in fantasy settings or are big D&D fans, you're not going to find a better experience than Baldur's Gate. It's going to have everything you want, from making love to making violence to making characters. All kinds of making, really. But yeah, this should be one of your biggest lists of the year, and this should absolutely be a Game of the Year contender. Buyer beware, though. Apparently this game does come in at a hefty 122 gigabytes, no preload available, but it will be worth every moment just to make love to that sweet, sweet bear. Next up, we have Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, which comes out August 18th on PC and Switch. This game is just an incredible vibe with fantastic music, a great aesthetic that takes me all the way back to my PS2 days, and just really is heavily inspired by Jet Set Radio. And for fans of that game, this is going to be the closest thing that you get recently. It's got tricks that make you think of Tony Hawk. There's something about the art style that's just uncannily similar, and the polygons and everything. It just really stands out as a trip back to your childhood in a nostalgic fashion with a new standout character and new standout mechanics, including jetpacks and whatnot. And these characters be dancing, vibing. The energy reminds me of like Pokemon Coliseum, and the uniqueness of it all is going to be something that's going to stay with you. So remember to check out this hidden gem coming out very soon. You'll be sure to kickflip, grind, and race your way through while graffitiing the streets in a new anti-military based storyline that takes you through the 5 military organized boroughs. Blasphemous II will be coming out on August 24th for those of you looking for a more action-oriented and rather visceral experience. The original game was a Metroidvania Souls-like game, and this particular sequel is leaning much more heavily into the Metroidvania aspect of the game design. This gothic horror-inspired architecture and really cult-like ambitions and storytellings is very grotesque, if not visceral, with high impact and very satisfying combat. This incredibly punishing game will test your skills as a Soulsborne fan and a Metroidvania fan. Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon comes out August 24th. This game is one that I'm personally really looking forward to, and to the point that I actually ordered the Big Fancy Collector's Edition. This game has incredibly giant set pieces, very cinematic moments that you create, because rather than being locked into a cutscene, you're going to be part of the action the entire time. High and intense levels of customization is the name of the game when it comes to Armored Core. We're talking weight distributions, different weapon options, different weapon types, each of the limbs that can be swapped out, customized, and you and your mech will be very unique from anyone else that you see playing this game. This is a single-player only game from the makers of Elden Ring. Now, if you're a Soulsborne fan, this is not a Soulsborne game, but it has a lot to offer with a great level of verticality to design that leads to high-paced mech combat, and we have been dying for a new, good mech game to really revitalize the genre, and this is our best chance to get exactly what we want as mech fans. It's going to have everything you want, from lasers to missiles to swords, all that good stuff. Keep your eyes on it.
Let's see how far they can fly on borrowed wings.
Sea of Stars releases on August 29th. This indie game takes you back to a PS2, PS1 era, beautifully artistically done JRPG with turn-based combat, a lot of mechanics to hang around, get to know characters, spend time in taverns, a lot of side quests, great character designs, wonderful enemy designs, great events, and it's all meant to be a prequel to the game The Messenger that came out a few years back. This game by Studio Sabotage is described as a turn-based RPG inspired by the classics. It tells the story of 2 children of the solstice who will combine the powers of the sun and the moon to perform eclipse magic, the only force capable of fending off the monstrous creations of the evil Fleshmancer. Now that is an intense little synopsis there. I'm not sure what the difference between a Fleshmancer and Necromancer is, but it sounds like bad news all around, and this game looks like nothing but good news all around. I will absolutely be looking forward to it. It takes me back to the PS1 JRPG days, except with way better art. It's absolutely beautifully done. Reminds me a little bit of Mana Chemnia. stick tuned, keep at it, and keep your eyes on. All these games look really great. You know what else is great?